So just let me know when. So that way I'll start.
We should be live to the people who pay us.
Okay, cool. So I'll just, as soon as we start, that's when I'll pull out the food and start crunching it near the microphone. So.
Oh, I pressed the wrong one. We're on the actual live show. That's funny. That's really funny.
To everybody. Oh my god.
That's really funny.
How could this happen? I didn't do it. He did it. So.
That's really funny.
Anyways, hi internet.
What if I just should I stop this and then we can get going in 5 minutes?
I think we're already running. So.
Okay. This is You're
getting 8 bonus minutes.
This is quite something.
Today, everybody.
This is quite something.
So I will just go ahead and remove my dinner as quietly as I can.
That's quite funny.
And I'll eat this later.
Yeah. That's really funny. What we should do? Okay, so we can just call this. So for everyone who isn't a member, this is what happens in the member streams.
Cleaning up some mom doesn't
so
see.
Why can't this can just be a preview, a membership preview?
We saw that.
And then we can get going in 6 minutes because I still need to go get a drink, and the Casper computer is still restarting, and we're really prepared. So.
Welcome to the preview, everybody. We are actually working on troubleshooting something at the moment, which I feel like it's important for us to, like, say that. So I know that there's people there's people in the chat room that are like, what's going on? What are you guys doing right now? Okay, so just to let you know, we were going to go live to members because we are troubleshooting our system that allows us to bring your comments and opinions up on the screen. And Ryan said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start it for our members, and then accidentally started the main one. So this is sort of, we're, I guess, jokingly calling it now a members preview. So if you've ever wanted to be a member of Tomorrow, where you get exclusive access to things like us talking about trains, myself eating when mom's not here, so that way she doesn't see it, things like that. That's very much what we're doing here right now. And I'm seeing a whole bunch of numbers and letters and code and things on our preview monitor right now. And I keep seeing there's a lot of fatal error on that screen. So I don't know what's going on. We might need a hammer, perhaps. Well, we were going to talk about trains, but I guess we'll kind of wait on that one. So
we can do trains in post-show.
Somebody's asked. Oh, there we go. Now everything's suddenly showing up. So I pushed that to air like 15 minutes ago, or I tried to push it to air 15 minutes ago. So there you go. This is it. Look at Duta. Duta is so good at these. Duta is so good at many things.
I've done a thing.
You are great, Duta. Very good job. Somebody said that we have an echo going on right now.
I can't hear it.
So, yeah, it could be somewhere in the. So, yes, this is my worm shirt. Happy Pride, everybody. That's what's up. So, Jamie's not here, so I have to put on a NASA logo since Jamie isn't here. So yeah, worm baby. That's what I'm all about. So I do the worm. So, okay. So everybody's telling us no echo. I guess we had one earlier, but maybe something did it. Oh, Smelly Cat is saying that we sound like angels. Ooh,
nice.
Thank you, Smelly Cat. See, nice. Compliments will get you far in this business. Greg's asking, does Duta? Are you getting a seat at the big boy table? Duta's always had a seat at the big boy table, but you have your own big boy table, Duta.
Hell yeah, I do.
Yep, and there it is. With all
how many
of us.
buttons do you have?
Yeah, that's true. I certainly don't have that many buttons. I have the number of buttons on my keyboard here, and the number of buttons on that keyboard over there, because you could see we're leaving things on the table because we were totally ready to go when Ryan hit going live.
Because Mom's not here.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
What do you mean it took you 35 minutes to go live?
Oh, Jason, I didn't give you wisdom on Twitter.
On Twitter. That's a different show, Jerry.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's After Dark. I will get that to you in a bit. Don't worry. I've got something for you. You might have to wait as well because I've got. I
just replied to Jamie's tweet.
Yeah, I've got another thing to do. Wait, what does it say? What does it say?
In-Flight Entertainment is brought to you by me pressing the wrong button. What button? What wrong button did you press? I missed that.
Good cover for me just drinking there.
I don't have headphones when I'm under computers knocking bugs out.
So a cool thing, Ryan. You didn't know this happened, Duta?
That's me.
Ryan, link the chat.
Ryan, we were going to start the member stream, but Ryan started the stream for the regular folks. So our folks who are watching right now are literally getting bonus time.
So the members, meanwhile, are going, what the hell? They said 4:30.
Yeah. As usual, a calamity of some sort happens here at Tomorrow. That's how we do. As Chris is saying, hey, Chris, glad to have you aboard with us. Always good to see you, Mr. Radcliffe. Hello, everyone. Today, everyone is a citizen of tomorrow. That's very, very true. And, consider becoming a member of Tomorrow because, as Chris would say, it's worth it. So, with that,
we want access to this. This is amazing.
Yeah, who doesn't want to hear us waffle for several minutes as we approach the 5 o'clock hour? Mostly because we want to make sure that we actually start with the people who were going to start with us at 5 o'clock, as opposed to start with us at 4:48. PM Pacific Daylight Time. So, yeah, literally the 12 minutes before times. With that, actually,
I'm going to do a really slick transition. Hang on.
Go ahead.
And I'll be right back.
Okay, do a really cool transition. Very nice. All right, so we have lost a signal. The Anaheim proxy will regain the transatlantic data packets as soon as we can. But hi, everybody. It's really great to be here. So glad to see you all. Yeah, thank you, Chris. Finally getting it in there just like I wanted to. Tomorrow's citizenship, it's worth it. So, yeah, I can't help but agree with that. Might have a biased opinion, but with that. Also, yeah, we definitely want to, Jason, that's a really good one, too. Give some shout-outs, too, to some some good folks. NASA Spaceflight as well. Go subscribe to NASA Spaceflight. They are excellent people. They do really great work, and we love every single thing that they do. So I'm serious. They do really good stuff.
Every single thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think every single thing with that. So it is now officially 5 o'clock. The old clock on the wall says it is 5, and usually that means you are done with work and the weekend begins. But for us here at Tomorrow, it's just getting started because I'm Jared. You probably know me better as the person who sits across from Jamie and occasionally chimes in with snarky replies that makes the internet mad. But today,
you're the astrologer, right?
You shut your mouth over there. But yes, I've been known as the official astronomer of Tomorrow. I don't really know if I hold that title anymore. I feel like rocket astronomer kind of works a little bit better.
What's a rocket astronomer?
It's someone who does rocket science and astronomy. So
rock astronomer
or shuttle dad. You could call me a shuttle dad if you think about it. Yeah. In actually not even in a roundabout way. I am a shuttle dad.
Shuttle uncle.
Uncle. Sure. All right. Adopted shuttle uncle.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's kind of weird though because anyways, I was gonna say it's older than me, and that's like a paradox of time. Anyways,
no, that makes Uncle legit.
What?
That makes Uncle legit.
What do you mean it makes it legit?
You can't be dad. It's older than you.
Well,
are.
I can't be dad, but that's like, isn't that weird? Because like usually an uncle is older than you. Wouldn't an uncle typically be older than you?
Not always.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Okay. Sure. What time?
I just broke your brain, didn't I?
What time warp are we in right now?
Are we doing it again?
I was gonna say let's not do it again. So we should go opposites, just to jump to the right, just like your slide did there.
Yep.
Very, very nice, Ryan. So glad to have you back now that we are officially starting here at 5:02.
Hey, nice of you to show up on time.
Yeah, good to have you here. Well, to Ryan's credit, we did show up. Technically, we did show up 8 minutes early today. So
yes.
All of you who are at this point wondering why is it taking you so long to actually get to the point where the show starts, it's because we were going to originally go live for our members, and then Ryan hit the wrong button and we went live for everybody. So then we waffled.
Instead of giving you that crazy thing where we give you all that like tidbit of data and then like turn the show off, we did that in the front.
Yeah, we like did it in reverse. So yeah, it's pretty weird. So we will be on for members after. So if you become a member during the show, you can get the same experience that you got at the start of the show. So
stick around for more shenanigans.
Yes, exactly. If those 8 minutes were entertaining to you in any way, you owe it to become a member for us here. And of course, as Chris said, tomorrow citizenship, it's worth it.
It is. I agree with that. I think that's a very good statement.
Nice little old joke for our folks there. So glad to have you hanging out with us tonight, because we're going to be talking some pretty interesting things that have been happening in spaceflight. Something that people don't really think about when it comes to developing your own space program, which is a slightly important thing called spacesuits.
Frozen food.
Frozen food, obviously, and communication systems and thrusters and other things, but spacesuits, good stuff, right? And in addition to that, we're just gonna kind of talk about whatever we got. What's up, Robert? Coming through. If you don't know who I am, I'm Jared. That's Ryan.
Hello, Jared.
Right over there. Hey, Ryan.
Hello, Ryan.
So, and then we have Duta over in that room over there.
This one.
Hello, Duta.
Hi, Duta.
This one.
Yes. That one.
Hey.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Hi. So, Ryan, first things first, I do want to talk to you, see if we have any updates for Psyche. If you could tell us a little bit about any updates for you on your potential trip.
On my end, we most things have just been what's the word? Cancelled, so then they can be rebooked for 7 weeks later. If you don't know, Psyche has been delayed by 7 weeks, which is a mild inconvenience, but it was always something that was a possibility, so you have to plan for these things. These things were planned for. I think we still have to rebook the flights, but everything else should be sorted. It has already been refunded, so we can rebuy it, or it is still reschedulable.
That's good. And that's very important if you are going to be doing what Ryan is doing, which is coming to the United States to actually cover the launch of Psyche. I'm saying this mostly for you, Ryan, to cover you running to get the GoFundMe link for that, if you would like to, so that way we could throw it on the air right now with that. But we are putting in a fundraiser to help Ryan and your dad come across the pond from the UK to here in the United States.
This has gone really well.
Yeah, and
there we go.
Yeah, there we go. If you'd like to help contribute to making that happen, helping get this young man to the United States, you should go to that GoFundMe and help with that a little bit. Why? What's up? What's going on? Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, no. You could take your time. Take your time. You're good. So yeah, we're having a lot of. It's not only just us having fun at the start here today. Our computers in some areas are also having fun. And what's great about that is that we could have possibly not had to have shown you this or somehow gotten through this while we're on the air, but somebody cause that to be a bit of a problem. But here you go. Here's the full link for the GoFundMe with Ryan. Just want to let you know, a lot of folks don't really like say what they're going to do with their money from GoFundMe. If you go to that GoFundMe, Ryan explains every single thing that is going to be, every single expense that is going to occur on that, that we know of at the moment. Obviously, there'll be other stuff, incidentals or other things like that, and we'll try our best to help you cover that, I guess. I've said it on air, so now Jamie has to make it happen.
No, not Jamie. You have to make it happen.
Great. All right. So I hope you like Wiener Schnitzel and Foster Freeze. Or I don't even know what fast food is in Florida because I've never been to Florida. Good times, right? I don't even know what's at the Cape in order to eat. Oh, Colton, very good here. I want a detailed food list. I agree, Colton.
I can confirm that once I have eaten the food.
Okay, yeah. If you could keep a record of everything you eat, mostly because we want to know what you've eaten, and we'll ask you to rate it, so that way it's like Brit rates American food or something like that. I don't know, something like that. Oh, photos of every dish. So, boy, everybody wants to see your food, Ryan. So, just in case you're wondering.
Okay.
So. Yep. So very sorry about that. Oh, gator tail. Bennett is saying that you should have some gator tail while you're down there. So, and I would not, that would be funny. So let's go ahead and get right into our main topic of kind of what we wanted to talk about today, which was new spacesuits. That's right. NASA is getting some new spacesuits, or at least they've awarded the contracts for those next generation spacesuits.
We don't know what they look like or any of the technical details. All we know is who's going to be making them.
And who is making them.
Axiom Space and Collins Aerospace have won the contract, which is called the Exploration Extravehicular Activity Services.
Okay.
Which is not a mouthful.
Excellent. And do they have a really cool way for it yet? Like sometimes I would call the EMU the emu. So we call this one the Exivas.
Xevas.
Exivas is what we can call it then. So
Zavas, can you call it? It's like EVA, so like the Zaves, the Zeves, Zavas.
I don't know. So, but very, very cool. And this is a really important thing, because this is just to point this out as well, because this was lost in the story because everybody was talking about the moon suits. These XEVAS suits, it's not just going to be for the moon. They're also going to go to the International Space Station. These are basically replacing.
These are all of NASA's suits are now going to be. So if you imagine like commercial cargo contract, commercial crew contract with Dragon and Starliner and Dream Chaser. Basically, imagine that contract, but for spacesuits. So Axiom Space and Collins Aerospace will make the spacesuits and rent them to NASA, and they'll just be replacing all their spacesuits with these rented spacesuits, which also means they can rent them to other people. So if you want to rent a spacesuit for an incredibly large sum of money, you can do that too.
Yeah, I could do it too. I could get those spacesuits finally, so I can go shoot Artemis 4 in the studio. I mean, I can go make a commercial somewhere else with that there. But this looks like a rendering of a possible design for those suits with that there. So that's very, very cool. I remember that looks a lot like the suits I remember seeing on the Learning Channel as a kid, like 30 years ago, with that there. So I'm glad to see they're finally coming around to the big bulky shoulders and the circular, almost like porthole helmet there. So
big round bowl.
Yeah, fishbowl, properly fishbowl, with it there. We're going back to the fishbowl, everybody. I guess with that there. So how much money? This is a chunk of change to make this happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I forgot, so I'm gonna look.
It's about $3.5 billion. Roughly, that's what the contracts are valued up to. They're both competing for it, so I think that doesn't mean that they're both going to get that there. So somebody's going to get the knockout and take the $3.5 billion contract. But that's a lot. That's just a bit of money. That's like, what is that? An SLS? One SLS, I think.
Like 3/4 of an SLS, maybe. Possibly.
So. Yeah, and that I think brings up a very interesting point, which is that a lot of people are surprised at just how much these spacesuits cost, right? Because $3.5 billion for some spacesuits sounds like a lot of money, right?
So. Yes, it does sound like. Considering how much SLS costs to launch, 3.5 billion for just the spacesuit sounds quite expensive.
Yeah.
Well, how much do you pay for a well-tailored suit?
I don't know, because I don't have a well-tailored suit. Because I'm not that kind of a person.
I was legitimately asking. I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know either. So somebody in the comments.
Chat, how much would you pay for a well-tailored suit?
Wait, who? Who, us?
Chat. The people watching.
Yeah.
The reason we're here.
Yeah. Psyche. Whoops. Okay. Everybody's. Oh, gosh. And then somebody in the chat basically made my point, which is good. That's what we want. So Psyche here is saying, Duta, it's usually several $1,000s. Jason says there's costed about $200 US.
Standard says $2.
$2? Yeah, I'd buy that for $2. Kyle, a little bit higher there, about $350 with there. Tracy here, tailored at least a few hundred, well tailored a couple thousand with that. Let's see, juggling lessons here, about $1,000 for a well-tailored suit. Yeah, some people are like with that there. So
and Neurostream coming in with a very generous $50 super chat.
Thanks. So pair character riding a firework rocket, disappearing away before bursting in the sky. What a beautiful thing to imagine in the middle of our show with that there.
It's actually a little animated graphic. It's kind of cute.
Oh, is it? That's great. Well, I'm really glad that I read it out loud then instead of the actual thing.
You're just making it accessible for everybody else.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Neurostream. It's a little pair character riding a firework rocket, disappearing away before bursting in the sky. So there you go. I guess
Google did a really good job of explaining that animation. Oh, Dada's gonna. Are you gonna show this?
Dada, are you gonna try to show it here? Oh, look at it. Look at it. I like it. Oh, that's great. That's great.
See?
I'm really glad that I could just barely make it out from here.
That was awesome.
Cool. Thank you, Neurostream. It's greatly appreciated. You have now made a very funny thing that I think will probably be a thing from here on out, which is make Jared read the super chats within reason of certain things. So, but yeah, Jason, I was actually going to agree on this, which is that how much does Jamie expend on dresses? If we had Jamie,
I have no
here,
idea.
Yeah, we have no idea either.
I'm sure she's got quite a green dress budget.
Yeah, I was. That might be the only part of the dress budget, honestly. I was going to say if only Jamie was here, she could tell us maybe about the costume that we talked about in our members only chat after the show. last week. So if you become a member, you get to hear some really cool things that we don't typically talk about here. Nerd Plays saying my friend got a custom one for $4,000, but he lives in New York City.
Well, needless to say, these are very, very custom suits, and they're also spaceships.
Yes, and Duta making that point, also buried somewhere in the chat, unfortunately. Here we go, from Zach, which is that spacesuits are tiny spaceships. They really are. And spaceships are not cheap, it turns out. At the moment, spaceships are not cheap, especially when they're bespoke, like a spacesuit will have to be. So that is why you will end up spending $3.5 billion on developing and making and maintaining spacesuits. And they are, it sounds like a lot, but again, they're little itty bitty spaceships, right?
But that's 3.5 billion to 2 companies. So even if we assume that they're split evenly, which we don't know about because we haven't been told yet, that's 1.7 and a bit billion dollars to per company over the next 12 years. So still, that sounds like a big number up front, but you've got to consider what they're actually manufacturing, and then you've got to consider how much they're actually getting, and then you've got to consider how long this money is going to be trickling in for, and that's over a decade. So if you think about it year by year, it's not an incredible amount. Obviously, it's still a lot of money, but in terms of spaceflight, it's not that huge.
Is there a specific number of suits that they're contracted for?
I don't know. I don't know if that's been made.
All I can tell is that they've been contracted. Please make us spacesuits, and that's about it. Like, please develop spacesuits for us.
I want as many as you can make for me.
2.
I want all of them, everything, as much as you can. So, and then also I do want to, point out, I pointed it out a little bit earlier, but I feel like it's relevant to kind of bring it back a little bit too, which is that, hi, how you doing over there? That these suits are not just going to be used for Artemis, they're also going to be used on the International Space Station. And this is a really good thing because on the last spacewalk that occurred, when they were taking off the suits for one of the astronauts, they found water in the helmet of one of the astronauts. So we're back again to the extravehicular mobility unit leaky water problem inside of the suits. So they are basically unable at the moment to do spacewalks using NASA's EMUs until they figure this problem out. And it's this has been a decade-long issue, and it is really difficult to make a spacesuit work. So I'm not like obviously you're like, gosh, can't you guys get it together? Well, spacesuits are really complicated, really difficult to work with. But it's the extravehicular mobility unit suits are old. They're from the 80s. I would even say late 70s in some cases. So yeah, they're well beyond how long they were supposed to last for, and we're in extra time with them. So
are there any specific requirements that this contract lays out?
I would imagine that they are going to. So they're going to want something that can operate on the moon, right? So I imagine they're going to want a lunar version of these. So they would probably get 2 different variations of this spacesuit. NASA's probably going to want one for use outside of a vehicle in microgravity, and then another one on a surface, like say the moon, with something like that.
And Robert makes a good point, which is that Axiom and Collins could make the legs modular or something like that, so they can have like 0G legs and legs that have more movement for walking on the moon and on Mars and any other celestial body that they want to use these suits on.
Yeah, and sort of looking at what I could find real quick about the contract that they're doing, these suits that they're working with are going to need state-of-the-art communications and computer systems, along with they actually want a common life support system that is more robust in emergencies as well. And for the lunar version, they want enhanced mobility for walking, bending down, and then getting back up in a gravity field, while here, this is the real kicker for me, I love this, on uneven surfaces. So we're no longer just gonna, I guess it sounds like we're no longer just gonna allow
moon hiking.
Yeah, we're no longer just gonna have the astronauts walking around on the flat bits, and maybe you jump in your moon buggy in order to drive up a hill or something like that. We're actually gonna let you go for a hike now, which I'm game to make that happen. That sounds awesome. With that,
moon hiking sounds really fun, and it's easier than Earth hiking because the gravity is lower.
I don't know about that.
But the gravity's lower, so it must be easier.
Yeah, I bet it's gonna be like cumbersome.
So the gravity's lower, but the mountains are bigger.
Yeah. Overall, I guess, that would definitely be a good way to do that. Also, Jason makes a really good point here too about the lunar one, which is that lunar regolith is going to be a design consideration too. And boy, does lunar regolith like to chew up and destroy just about every material that you can make a spacesuit out of. So that's going to be fun.
And why is that?
Because lunar regolith is horrendous. So it is so bad. How bad is it? Okay, to explain it, I have to do a little geology here. Is everybody ready for a little bit of geology? Here we go. So here on Earth, we have erosion. That's good. You have erosion from wind and water, and that helps smooth everything out. So those jagged rocks, they become nice and smooth, and they're all good, and they're no longer jagged, and they can roll and other things like that. But on the moon, all you've got really is impacts from meteorites, and that makes stuff unbelievably jagged. So you've got these little itty bitty pieces of what the moon is made out of stuff. I'm so good at describing these things, aren't I? So you got little itty bitty pieces of lunar regolith, lunar dust, and it's just basically like shards of glass, I guess is how I would describe it. It's kind of one of those things, I don't want to call it death by 1,000 cuts, but you basically are Swiss cheesing yourself, or rubbing yourself on a grater if you were to grab some lunar regolith with your hands.
Imagine going to the beach, grabbing some sand, but that sand hasn't been smoothed down over thousands of years, and it's super duper sharp glass.
Yeah.
Not particularly comfortable.
I was going to say, I've actually been somewhere where there was a lunar regolith simulant, and in order to actually get into where it was, the PPE we had to put on just to go into the room where it was in a canister, where it was even just going to open up and they were going to take like a little spoonful out and put it somewhere. It was amazing what we had to wear. So it's ridiculous just how much you're gonna have to do that. And I feel like too that's gonna be a really big deal because obviously that's not good for you health wise, you kind of gotta figure out how do you make sure not to track that into your Chris, do not touch the danger dust.
Well, that's
very nice.
That's an inhalation hazard as well, isn't it?
It
like
is.
Fiberglass or asbestos.
Oh, it sure is. Yeah. So you've got to figure out. We just don't want it to come in to the. Just get away from it.
You get your butt back outside and dust yourself off.
Yeah, exactly. You take the broom and you sweep yourself, sir. Do not snort the danger dust, as Jason is saying. Seriously suboptimal for the lungs. I just breathed some in. Everything itches. Copper Core is saying, shouldn't we call it danger zone dust? Maybe.
What do you think this is?
Maybe. Zach has a really good way to describe it, which is space asbestos, which is
that's fun to say when you're drunk too.
Yeah, space asbestos.
Space asbestos.
Which is great because I remember watching one of those like documentaries they made in the 50s about what space flight would be like, and they were talking about their suits made out of asbestos. And then Robert here is saying one of the solutions you could do, hose the astronauts off before getting on board.
With all the water that's on the moon.
Yeah, that'll definitely work. Also, Standard bringing up something that we did talk about last week with the death of Insight with Insight upon death's door, which is that you're gonna have to have an anti-static feature as well congratulations, in case anybody wanted to consider that there. So, yeah. Jason is asking if Mars dust is going to be as nasty as a lunar regolith. What do you think?
I think also nasty, but not as much.
I think nasty for a different reason.
Oh, percolates, huh?
So, yeah, the chemical composition of Martian regolith is going to be what you don't really want to deal with. I mean, obviously, Martian regolith is not as eroded as the materials here at the surface of the Earth. I still don't think...
But there's still an atmosphere. They still have storms. They still have winds.
Yeah, there's still the ability to rub against something and relatively unsharpen or dull yourself out, I guess. But I'm still not going to throw my boots off and act like there's a beach day on Mars. That's just not, it's not going to end well with that there. It would be cold, yeah. Although that would be just like going to the beach here in California because our water's cold.
It's freezing.
It is very cold, but that's good because it also gets pretty hot. As Eka's saying here, doggone it, that opened up something on my laptop here, which is good. Mars dust has been smoothed off more by weathering, but it contains
English
selenites. Hopefully I said that correctly with that there. So yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, fun times, right? So again, spacesuits, they are complicated. They are really complicated. So yeah, it's some tough stuff. So yeah, man, spacesuits, difficult.
Spacesuits.
So yeah, that was fun. And hopefully you all learned a little something about spacesuits, and hopefully we can sort of get rid of this idea of $3.5 billion. No, there's a reason they cost
$3.5 billion, split between two companies, divided over 12 years.
Yeah,
you do the maths, and it sounds reasonable for spacesuits, and also, just like the entire ideology of now NASA's moving to commercialize a lot of the stuff that they do, that's just really exciting to me because they proved they could do it with the commercial cargo. They have better proved they can do it with commercial crew, and now they're going to be doing commercial spacesuits, which is really exciting.
Yeah. Did we go over this? Johnny Spacer asking about Axiom making the ISS suit and Collins making the lunar suit. So did we talk about that?
I believe they'll each be developing their own.
Yes.
So I don't think we haven't been told any technical specifications yet, which obviously is sad, but they're still working through contracts and stuff. I believe we'll find out more information later into the month, maybe. I'm not sure. But from my understanding, both companies will be making two different types of suits, or however they want to deal with zero-G and celestial bodies. Yeah,
and NASA's talking about that contract as well being what they described as incredibly. I'm going to learn to speak well.
One day.
One of these days.
One day.
They describe the contract as incredibly flexible, meaning that I believe they hinted at the idea. I think they outright said that it could end up being one of the companies getting all of the orders for it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that one company is going to get every single order. It could end up being broken apart or distributed 70-30 or something like that. So but yeah, I believe NASA is not really even saying at this point how the contract is going to be executed. It's just that they're going for it. So here it comes. So we'll have to see what comes of that. But hey, that's really exciting. This is something that's been coming. We've been in need for a really long time to make that for it. Also, obviously, there were folks here that were talking about SpaceX's own suit that they're developing right now, their EVA suit for the Polaris Dawn mission. I believe that one is going to be a modification of their intravehicle suit, right?
Yeah.
So, and that one's
basically just going to be a beefed up, already made SpaceX suit.
Gotcha. And that's going to have an umbilical attached to Crew Dragon, if I remember correctly. It's not going to be...
It's what it says on the picture, and cameras never lie, so it's obviously going to be there.
The internet wouldn't lie to us. Yeah. And then Eka's also making a really good point, too, which is that SpaceX is probably going to make their own suits for EVAs and lunar and Mars use as well. And of course, that's your IVA, your intra-vehicle activity suits. So that's what they wear during launch, docking, basically any operations that would be considered hazardous. So that way they're in a pressurized suit. So it gives the astronauts a chance in case there's any rapid decompression with that there. So somebody here was talking about something that I think is really cool, which is those skin-tight suits. Here it is. Yes. What's your opinion on the biosuit spacesuits, the ones that use spandex and tension instead of a wearable balloon? So basically using what's called mechanical pressure in order to maintain your innards in the right places at the right at 1 bar inside of you with that there. I think they're really cool. So although I don't know, have they tested those before?
I do not know.
Have they had anybody jump in a vacuum chamber yet with one of them? So or have they just been like really cool? Look at me, take a photo. How neat is that? So it's pretty neat. So yeah, there it is. That's what I believe. That's Dava Newman who helped develop that suit and actually did some work at NASA too, which was really cool. So she's a very cool lady. So look her up. Very, very cool work she's done in aerospace. So sweet stuff. Awesome. So yeah, new spacesuits. Excellent. Just in time for what NASA needs with that there. Also,
I would say it's a little late. Because they're already like planning on going to space. You should have all that stuff.
Thank you, Duta. I appreciate your.
I'm the pragmatist.
I appreciate your deciding to not be the nice one today. See, I'm hosting, so I have to be relatively nice, or maybe I don't need to be relatively nice today.
You can be critical without being malicious.
Well, I mean, sure, but where's the fun in that? So. Speaking of things...
It's quite the challenge, trust me.
Yeah, it is. Don't think this is easy sitting here right now. So to kind of shift gears, but also talk about something that's running late as well with the Space Launch System getting ready to do its rollout, right? We're going to be rolling back to the pad sometime.
Rollout number 2.
Yeah, rollout number 2 with that to retest it on, I believe the current date is June 19th. Is when they want to do the next test.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So fill it up
because they want to roll out on. This is this is what I genuinely don't know. So I'm asking the chat this. They say that they want to roll out on Monday, but is that Monday at 0000 local or is that Tuesday at 0000 local? Because they say they want to do it at midnight, but is it midnight Monday or midnight Tuesday? We need to know.
I think it's going to be midnight Monday, right? Because I believe June 6th. That's the date I've heard, June 6th.
Yeah.
Of course, the chat room will now come down upon me and tell me how much of a fool I am because it's not actually June 6th, if it isn't. Yeah, they're going to roll it out. They're hoping to start the 3-day countdown as a part of this test on the 17th, and then there will be propellant loading, and then the terminal countdown no earlier than June 19th with that. They've also got, we've been told that they have 2 days built in for weather, just in case there's any weather delays or things like that. But yeah, they're going to fill it with almost 750,000 gallons of super cold cryogenic propellants and make sure that it's actually working correctly. So, and what did they have to fix in order to make this happen? You guys remember what they had to fix?
The umbilical plate thing.
Don't say it.
The ground umbilical carrier plate. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of them.
And then a helium valve in the second stage.
Yep. So they had to do all of that. There's also the tail mass structure, right? That they had to work with. That was leaky with liquid hydrogen, which hydrogen. It's a very, very small atom. So anytime hydrogen sees an opening, it just takes it. So yeah, be pretty cool with that there. And yep, there's a beautiful, so pretty rolling out, isn't it? I really like it.
Very big orange rocket. Really stands the contrast of the orange when they roll out at sunset. It just looks so pretty because the contrast of the orange on like the hazy blue sea, just beautiful.
Yeah. Norman Reitzel is asking a question here, which is how much does it cost to roll out? You know how much it costs to roll out?
Less than $4.1 billion.
All right, that's a start with that there. I know for fueling, I know at least with the space shuttle, for fueling up the shuttle, it was about $500,000, something like that. It was so much cheaper than I actually expected it to be.
Yeah, but that's not rollout, that's fueling.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, with that. With it there. Johnny saying that all of those problems with the Space Launch System wet dress rehearsal part 1 could have been solved with duct tape. Of course, duct tape solves everything, right? If you have a problem, just use it.
That could duct tape. I mean, if you stretch some boundaries, you could have sorted the leaky hydrogen issue. But I would say that the helium valve that got stuck, there was a bit of rubber in there, so you probably want as little stuff in there as possible.
I guarantee you it's not rubber. It's a seal of some sort, but it's not rubber.
If anybody's going to know about cryogenics and valves,
I'm going to
point
Duta.
to that guy.
I'm just saying that's what NASA said, so...
Yeah, Allison made a interesting connection here, which is that the rollout, if it happens on June 6th, that's going to be the D-Day landing anniversary. So they're going to be...
If that cost $4.1 billion.
I think it was probably a little more... I'm no expert in World War II, but I would bet on saying that it probably cost just a bit more than that. So, but also, invading the beaches of France there. We're invading the beaches of Florida on the same
this rollout
day, right?
will use less gas.
That's true. It definitely will with it there. And then where was it at in here? Somebody was poking the hornet's nest, and I feel like it's a good hornet's nest to poke. Okay, here we go. From Grubby, because if you go to our Tomorrow Space News, that Ryan did this week, where you talked about SpaceX being nowhere close to being ready to launch.
I upset the comments.
Oh,
I did it.
You did.
I did it.
Yeah. You spoke truths, and man, did the internet not like that. Grubby here is asking ask you who could legitimately. Who's going to reach orbit first? Is it going to be the Space Launch System, or will it be SN24? So why don't we start with you?
At the moment, I'm going to say SLS because I think SN24, even if the approval comes through in a week and a bit's time, which is looking like it might, they still need to test Ship 24. They still need to integrate it with Booster 7. There's a lot of things they still need to do in order to get this Starship up to orbital velocities and spitting out Starlinks and going around the world to Hawaii the wrong way round. I feel like after the wet dress, the next step for SLS is the moon. That's where it's going. So I feel like it's just... I feel like if the SLS launch date sticks to the optimistic timeline of about August, I think SLS might be able to go first. But if it gets delayed like a month or two, then Starship might just pip it to orbit. But yeah, it's hard because they're both in kind of similar places right now. SN24 still needs to test. SLS still needs to test. Yeah.
Oh man, what a time! Cool. What a time for Jamie to pop in right now. And I don't know if I want to take that or not. But hi, Jamie. Good to see you with that here. But what about you, Duta? What do you think? Who's going first? Is the Space Launch System going to go, or is it going to be SN24?
I think it's got to be SLS. Don't they have FAA approval?
That is one thing that they do have. So.
Yeah, it's
seems pretty obvious. Oh, Jamie is helping host now. Jamie thinks SN24 is going to go before the Space Launch System. So, yeah.
Is that devil's advocate, Jamie, or fact-based Jamie?
I don't know. So I cannot speak for Jamie as to whether it's official now. Jamie said it. You guys heard it. So it's going it.
Lean over and ask Elon.
Or don't. He might be asleep. For all we know. So don't wake me sleeping. So sorry, that just like blew my train of thought right there. My train of thought pulled a SN 8 through 11 and didn't work. Whatever. I think the Space Launch System is going to launch first. I always like being wrong about these things, though. I don't have a problem being wrong with it, and I think it's great with it. But just seeing the problems that they're having with SN24 right now, I didn't see the cryo test yesterday and the state of the tiles after it, but it sounded like they were having really big issues with tiles popping off.
Well, you don't need the tiles to get into orbit. You just need them to get back from it.
Yeah, but you also probably would like a little bit of data coming back from orbit.
Sure, but if your goal is to get into orbit, you can accomplish that without tiles.
That's true. So yeah. STS-1
I feel like
STS-27
once SpaceX gets Starship into orbit, the next step is then recovering it, because Elon's already said that they don't want to recover the first Starship that they put into orbit.
Yeah.
So even if all the tiles survive, it's still going to be crashing into the ocean at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're not even trying to recover it, are they?
No. So the first step, get to orbit. Second step, bring it back.
Yeah, that would be good. So either way, I don't care who, frankly, personally, I don't care who launches for Space Launch System or SN24. I want to see rockets go.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah, I don't see why you can't have enjoying both with it right there. Here's Jamie, just to clear the air, I guess. Clear Elon air here, or whatever you want to call it. I don't have inside info, but Starship feels more real than a Space Launch System right now from an engineering standpoint, in my opinion. Yeah, so I don't know. Look, it's anybody's game at this point, I guess. It's really fun stuff with it there. Yeah.
So help me understand the timeline for SLS again. They're going to roll out to the pad, and they're going to tank it and then detank it and then roll it back inside so that they can arm the self-destruct mechanism on the boosters, so that they can roll it back out to the pad so that they can launch.
Something like that. So
something along those lines.
I don't remember it exactly.
This year?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the plan this year.
By August.
We've gotten to the point where it's this year. Jamie's asking, is that my empty chair there in frame, just showing how I'm not there? Yeah, Jamie, we figured it'd be good. You should have seen the start of the show. I had food on the table at the start of the show. So, not because I wanted it to be there, though.
The charging cable is you being there in spirit.
There you are. So we miss you, Jamie. But you'll like be back or something next week.
Pour some out for my homies.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to pour the drink out for my homies right here.
And smear it all over the table.
I'm just going to do it with that there. Oh, boy. So.
What else?
Yeah, I was going to say, since Jamie's watching now, why don't we talk about some SpaceX stuff? So, how's that sound? Yeah. Let's talk SpaceX since Jamie is watching. Did we touch on SpaceX having to swap out the heat shield for the next crew flight because they had a manufacturing defect?
I did talk about it in Space News. Basically, if you don't know, something went wrong with their... so every new heat shield that they built... Let's start from right at the beginning. Each time they fly Dragon, they put a new heat shield on it. Precautionary, it's for safety.
Good call.
The new heat shield that they made for Crew 5 failed its acceptance testing. in the loads testing phase. So basically they test the heat shield during re-entry and splashdown, putting loads onto that to see if it will hold up during those periods. It failed during the splashdown load test. Not great, because you want your astronauts to survive when they land, or see. So splash, yes, splash. So what they're doing now is they're building a new heat shield. Fingers crossed this will go through acceptance testing of flying colours, and then they'll put that on the Crew Dragon, endurance, I think, for Crew 5, and then everything will go swimmingly.
Nice. So, in other words, there was a problem, they found the problem, they are resolving the problem, they're going to retest it, and we'll find out the results. So, which is good.
Exactly.
Finding the problem is good. So, that's...
Finding the problem before it's a problem.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a good way to do it. Old Gamer Noob here has a great idea, which is to auction off the failed heat shield, please. Maybe we could cut pieces of it and do it at like a charity auction or something like that.
Individual segments of it.
Yeah, and actually, as everybody's kind of saying here, GTH 042 saying, good problem to have. Yeah, JTTV, probably with my favorite one, which is frustrating, but the test worked as intended. So, with that there. So, yeah, excellent. Good stuff. Good catch on that. Anything else happening with SpaceX outside of that? I mean, lots of cryo testing for SN24. And
Ship 24 has been getting frosty. Last week, a week or two ago, we obviously had if you've watched the news, we had that incident. We heard a bit of a kind of bursting noise. We saw some tiles flying. Which is, well, you want to see tiles flying attached to Starship, not flying by themselves. and then we saw a very bent pipe being pulled out of Ship 24. Whether that was destroyed during the event or it was bent by workers to get it out, we don't know.
Was it a downcomer pipe thingy?
It was not a downcomer pipe. It was
a top to bottom pipe. What was it?
It was like
made people mad last time. Apparently.
It was like I could probably get a picture of it. It was just like, I'd say like a normal sized pipe. If you'd imagine a pipe, just a normal pipe, as you do, and it looked very bent.
So it was a bent pipe.
It was a bent pipe. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Just pipes that I think of every day. My mind
pipe.
Awash in pipes, thinking of them just bent or twisted together in beautiful patterns.
It takes some energy to do that.
Yeah, and just
I'll have you know.
Slight amount of energy to pull that off.
It didn't work. Hang on.
I mean,
it's the wrong file extension. It doesn't. Yeah. Discord doesn't like GIFs. It likes JPEGs.
Oh, okay. So you have to get just yeah. Oh, you can't get you can't get a pretty nice graphic for it. That's a bummer.
It should work now. I changed the extension to JPEG. There we go.
What about pungs?
Whoa! Is it that one pipe right there?
Yep,
How did you even know
one.
which pipe I was looking or pointing at? Because I could see like 8 pipes.
I assumed you'd be looking at the bent one.
The one on the cherry picker there.
So
yep. To the back of that guy.
I don't actually know anything about Spaceship, or I don't have any insight to SpaceX, but that looks like a 2 to 2.5 inch diameter pipe, and it looks like it's a fairly high.
That's the new one.
Wow, look at that pipe. So this.
I like how the dude's face is blurred, but his ID badge isn't.
Well, you can't win them all, Duta.
Well done.
So okay, so that. Oh, I thought we were going to go. I'm sorry. I thought we were going to go back. Can I not? Am I not allowed to push it again?
Sure.
So that turned into that, basically. So that's neat.
Well,
so
I think the other one was a replacement for this one, right?
Yeah. Here you go. Here's a good one for you. Nice one, Smokey. That's good. Oh, I love you guys. Watch live. Y'all are great. I love y'all folks. It's so good. Bent pipes and all. I'm still trying to get over, Ryan, where you're like, yeah, pipes that you think about every day. So
everyday bent pipes.
Yeah, and I gotta say, that's a really hard bend. That's like a 90, not a 90-degree bend on it. Oh, I'm trying to eyeball it here.
Just a bit. I'd say it's like 45, but the other way. So imagine 45 all the way around. That one.
That's it's
315. There we go. Maths.
It's a good good bend on that pipe right there. So big fan of bent pipes, but not when they're not supposed to be bent. With that there, with that. So yeah, pretty cool. I wanted to ask you, Ryan, because your neck of the woods has something that's happening with some spaceflight coming up this year.
Are you talking about it being not this year?
Possibly.
Because I know there's something that was happening this year that's not happening this year now.
Are we, is it Orbex? Is that what we're talking about?
It's not Orbex. It's the other ones. It's ABL Space Systems.
Oh, okay. Well, tell us about ABL Space Systems. They were actually doing something in your neck of the woods?
Not really my neck of the woods, the opposite side of the country by several hundred miles. Right at the top. So if you imagine a map of Great Britain, you have Scotland, and then you have the Shetland Islands way more north. The very, very tippity top of the Shetland Islands, they're building a spaceport there. And it's called Saxonwold Spaceport. And there's Astra, who wants to launch from there. There was ABL Space Systems with Lockheed Martin, who wanted to launch from there. And I think Skyrora wanted to launch from there as well. Basically what's happened is ABL and Lockheed Martin had a Pathfinder launch scheduled for this year. They've now announced it won't be happening this year, and that's about it. But Astra haven't said anything, Skyrora haven't said anything, no one else has really said anything about it, so we believe this is just an ABL problem, or just some sort of halt. So yeah, it's not really that big of an issue, and it also means that Astra might be able to slip in and become the first launch provider from the UK to launch a vertical rocket, unless Orbex do something with their spaceport.
Yeah, and I saw Orbex was...
It's a weird space race at the moment.
Yeah, and I saw that they've got a full-size replica of their rocket out at their launch site at the moment, and that they're looking at aiming for the end of 2022, beginning of 2023 to try to get their rocket flying there. So but I think that's like so cool that like things are finally happening outside of the United States. So I know we've got that cluster there in England and greater area around there. There's also, if I recall correctly, a company in Spain as well that's working on that. Why can I not remember their name with that? There's also Germany as well that's really pushing for a couple of new space companies with that. So it's just so cool that like it's spreading everywhere, and it's the best. It's a nice spread of things to have happen. So we
want to see more rockets. Yeah, more rockets, the merrier.
Yeah, big fan of that happening. So more. So if you're thinking of like starting your own space company, just go do it. Just make it happen. It shouldn't be too difficult, right? Because
JTTV says PLD Space.
Thank you. Yeah, I've seen some of the engine tests that they've done with that. So great stuff with that there. So super excited. I want more. I can never get enough rockets. Jared want more rockets.
Also, having more rockets closer to home for me is also fun because, like, you don't have to spend thousands of pounds to fly and see a rocket. You can just spend, I don't know, 100-ish pounds on fuel, drive up, get a ferry, and boom, you're there.
Yeah, and
Can planes play too?
Can
planes that launch rockets play?
So this is the question of the ages, isn't it? It's not a vertical launch, but it's still a launch. It originates from the UK, but it's not a vertical launch. It starts, but it's not launching from the UK. It's launching from midair over the Atlantic Ocean, but it's taking off originally from the UK. So does it count? I think it does count as a launch from the UK, but I'm personally, no offense, Duta, Virgin Orbit is really cool, but I want to see a rocket launch vertically off a launch pad.
Where is it fueled? Where is the rocket fueled?
But it's not launching vertically off a launch pad, so it makes it less exciting. Like I can't see it. I have to watch the telly to see it launch from underside of a plane. However, you can watch it.
If you're lucky, so do I.
That's right outside. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with this, Ryan, but we tend
And whilst they're gone, vertical launch pads, you can see them.
Yeah, no, it counts. So I know. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry. It's okay.
We feel for your non-spacefaring country.
Yeah, it's all right. We get it. You know, you develop the capacity for it, and then we're like, nah. So it's okay. You're getting it back though. That's good. So that's the whole point. You're getting it back, and that's awesome because we all get to come along with it. So pretty cool. Also in Europe, Arianespace is starting to really narrow down their expected times when they're going to be launching the Vega C, which is upgraded Vega, and the Ariane 6 as well, which is going to be replacing the Ariane 5. So Vega C is going to be, I believe, sometime in July. I know there's an Ariane 5 flight coming up, and they have said that they're going to begin the campaign for Vega C after they handle that Ariane 5 flight. And then they're still looking at the second half of this year for Ariane 6, but they're confident that they're going to be able to do it. So
have they started bending metal for that?
What, for Ariane 6?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're well beyond the bending metal stage with that. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, good times. So, and, you know, Arianespace had a really hard time, too, because they had a whole backlog of Soyuz launches that they were going to do. And then the war in Ukraine... is still occurring as well, and that kind of ended up, you know, cutting that off. So they had to actually shuffle a lot of things around. And actually, Arianespace has said that they helped some of their customers actually reach out to their competitors to try to find a solution. So I can't even imagine like Arianespace going to SpaceX and being like, hey, do you think you could fly these guys on your Falcon 9?
I was just reading Jamie's comment here. Which will launch first, Ariane 7 or SOS?
Oh, Jamie, ow. And yeah, as ouch, yeah, official, it's on the internet, it's forever. Yeah, thanks, Jamie. Smiley face. Yeah, that comment would come from you. And on Elon Air. Anyways, oh, dang it, Jamie, you threw it off. So Jamie's not even here and derails the show. I can't believe it. So
Unbelievable.
I can't believe this. This is absolutely out of control. But yeah, oh yeah, of course, yeah, Jamie's looking innocently at the camera. Oh yeah, that's you know, with all that
loose quotes on that, innocently.
Yeah, and just to kind of talk about some other folks that are getting ready to fly soon. Robert brought up that Firefly is getting ready to launch to send a flight soon too, and they are from Vandenberg sometime. I think it's set for like mid-July, no earlier than mid-July at the moment. And I like the name of the mission too, as well. It's called To the Black. So. With
Hopefully they'll get further than the dark blue this time.
I sure do hope, and I'm actually gonna try to make it this time. I was supposed to be at that flight, and I was not able to make it out, unfortunately.
All those beautiful fireworks you missed.
Yes, and actually, that seeing a rocket, a uncrewed rocket explode has been on my like. I have like a bucket list of things that I want to see, but also like I really don't want to see happen. Like my unwanted bucket list.
You just need to hire a sniper like ULA did.
Yeah, well, you can't tell me that a SpaceX sniper didn't hit didn't hit that RD-180 a couple years ago when they were launching a Cygnus.
I didn't do it this time. It wasn't me.
Yeah, it was. Ta-da. Oh my gosh, this is good stuff. So, yeah, so they're working pretty hard on this. You guys are killing me today. Usually it's Jamie that kills me, but no, you guys are doing it for me there. But also, one thing that I think we should talk about, because it's going to be happening before our next episode. I think it's going to be happening, if it is actually going to be happening. LT launch director set the like button to go. So I guess that's a good way of saying that if you like what we're doing, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you don't like what we're doing, go ahead, just like and subscribe anyhow, and send it to a friend. So
why not? UAA as snipers, SpaceX as ninjas.
Yeah.
I also thought that this comment from JTTV was quite funny as well. UAA hires cruise ships.
Yeah, we're gonna get in so much trouble. Nobody is gonna.
Confirmed, it's over.
Nobody's gonna ever want to do an interview with us, like Blue Origin ever wanted to ever. Anyways, that's a long story, and I'll have to. That might be a good one for the members only show, because if you're a member, you get to hear our after show where shenanigans happen, and we talk about some really funny things.
Really, the shenanigans start in the after show?
Well, the shenanigans start, I think, as soon as we all wake up on Friday.
You are all in for a rude awakening.
Or maybe the shenanigans just are with that there. But I just do want to mention, not that data, but I just want to mention that China is going to be it's
easy for you to say.
China, and I was going to say, now I'm going to have to actually pronounce difficult things too.
Here we go. So
I've already
Get the
screwed
popcorn,
up.
ladies and gentlemen.
I've tripped over my own native tongue, so now we're going to have to see how I do with the Chinese here, and hopefully I get it right. If I don't get it right, people will leave comments, and that's perfectly fine, because I'm an American and I'll ignore them. So China is getting ready to launch the Shenzhou 14 mission to their Tiangong space station, where during that mission they will have 2 additional modules being launched to increase the size of their Tiangong space station and increase the area that the astronauts can live in, and in addition to that, more area for them to do scientific research as well. They will also launch the Shenzhou 15 crew before they bring back the Shenzhou 14 crew, which means that they will have a continuous presence on the Tiangong space station, just like the International Space Station. So good for them. Glad that they're getting up to something. It's really nice to see it, and super happy that they are so far doing a really good job of operating their space station. So and as we'll take this to air, because apparently I've done this. Eddie Joker says that's a pretty good pronunciation, the bloody hell. So and now Jamie is reaching.
Jamie's back at it again.
Which will launch first, Shenzhou 114 or the Space Launch System? Jamie, that would be 100 Shenzhou expeditions. What are we at? We're like at expedition 67, right? We're not even close to that. Wow, talk about no faith.
We're talking 50 years of Shenzhou flights.
Gosh.
Until I see fire, it's just a fancy water tower.
Gosh, are they just handing out Ambien on that plane? So, swear to God. So, all right. So, I can't do this. All right. So now that Jamie has just catastrophized the ending of the show here, I want to. Oh, hey, Lord Skippy. Let's do a shout out to Lord Skippy there, because that's really cool. Saying that our small sat will be on SpaceX CRS 25 for Friday morning. MIT managed to get me a ticket to watch from the Kennedy Space Center. Congrats, Lord Skippy. You're getting...
That's a very, very generous gift.
Your payload is going to orbit, and you're going to watch it leave this planet permanently. That is awesome. Also, JTTV talking about it. Yes, The big telescope has a date, July 12th, everybody. We'll see you there for the first new pictures that it gets. I know what it's gonna.
You can't even word right now.
I can't because I know what's gonna be seen. So, but
we can't see anything.
Yeah, well, because I can't say at the moment, but I know it's gonna be cool. So, and Psyche saying pictures is in Pitchers from James Webb. Is it a lefty or a righty? I don't know. Anyways, thank you, Duta. Now you're derailing the show. So, anybody else? Anyone else?
You assume it had rails.
True. So I would.
Speaking of rails, if you stick around for the post show, I'm gonna be showing some of my Crossrail pictures.
Because what did you do?
Jamie, go away, Jamie. You're not here. Not yesterday. Wait, was it yesterday?
No, don't spoil it. We gotta run the slates and then
on yesterday. I'll tell you about it in the post show.
Yeah, you did something cool that's related to something in England, right? Is it England or the United Kingdom or like the whole enchilada? I still don't understand the difference.
We'll go into that in the post show.
Okay, thank you. Because again, American, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand, and also it's my right to not understand it.
I've got a link for you.
Okay, thank you. A link for me to
later.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Cool. All right, so the mission director is go for the post show pending everyone hitting subscribe. So please remember, if you really like what we do, both here on our live show or on news or in both of what we do, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Make that subscribe not red, because we don't want it to be red, right? That is bad in rockets. Also, I want to thank everyone who contributes to the show of tomorrow, or shows, I guess, right, of tomorrow. Our Escape Velocity members, you all are absolutely amazing. If you go to the Escape Velocity level, there is a special channel for you in our Discord. By the way, our Discord, you could join it if you'd like to. But if you'd like to join Escape Velocity, where most of us hang out at, and you can basically see all of our bad jokes and our derailing all of ourselves all the time, that's where you could do that. I want to thank our Orbital citizens who help make our show possible. By the way, it's not just Orbital as well. You can go suborbital if you'd like, because we've got suborbital citizens.
Just a little hop.
Yeah, that's right. This is like our New Shepard section, if you will. Not that it's bad or anything. It's just that, we appreciate you. It's really, really good. And then we've also got our ground support folks here. These folks contributing to help make the show possible. And I mean, every little bit helps out the show. And we also have do we have additional below this as well? I cannot remember because I'm not Jamie.
Yes, we have, but they don't. We have system support.
Yeah, so we have our ground system support or something like system support. As you could see how much I studied before I come on the show here today. I don't even know the show I've been on for 7 years. It's a good times. If you would like to help join tomorrow and become a member and help out the shows, you can head over to... You can head on over...
All right, one more time. We're going to take it from the top.
You can head on over to youtube.com/TMRO/join and you can help support getting me speech therapy or something.
It's right there on the top in red. You can just read it.
I know.
right there.
I know.
Right there.
I know. Thank you, Duta. All right. So, unfortunately, unlike Jamie, I do have things. Thank you, Psyche. I appreciate your faith in me. I've got none in me at this point. And then Smokey, of course, I'm just pulling this up because this is classic. You either understand this or you don't. And if you don't, you should become a member so you can hear us talk about it in the after show. Thank you all so much for watching us, whether you've done so... flashing that on the screen. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching the show, whether you've done so live with us right now or you're doing so on demand a little bit later. Thanks, and hope you guys have a good one. Hey, remember, keep exploring, right? Some good stuff. See you later. Bye. And then we'll go talk to our members about this really cool thing that's going to be happening.